Hi guys, welcome back to From PSD to HTML5. My name is Dan Wellman, and in this lesson we're going to actually start coding up the template for the homepage. We already sliced out a bunch of images, so we need to actually start building the page template in an editor of your choice. Obviously I'm using Visual Studio Express 2012 for web, as I said earlier, so I'm just going to open up a new website, and that is the website that I added to the desktop. So where is that? Okay, templates, there it is. And I'm just going to add a new HTML page, and we'll just call this home template. I think I spelled that wrong, so let's just correct that. Great. Okay, so it's given us, pretty much a HTML5 skeleton here. Probably want to set this to lang en. So we can add a title here. We'll just call this home template. We'll add a custom style sheet. So we've already got our Bootstrap style sheets, and we'll just add a custom one which we'll call theme. And then back in the home template, obviously we want to add links to, first of all, the Bootstrap templates. And then we want to add one for our custom style sheet as well. So we can start out in the body by adding a header, and we'll also add a main section. So we'll just give this a role of main. This is the main content area. And then we can add a footer as well. So in the header we want to add, first of all, a H group. And this can contain a H1 for the logo. So we'll probably want to make this clickable. I'll just add a title in there. And then we can add a H2 for the kind of the tagline, which if we go back to the PSD, we can see that this says powered by Jeffrey Way Industries, and we'll just get rid of these guides. Okay, so yeah, that's the tagline text that we want to use. Let's just add that in manually. Okay, that's that. And then the last thing that we want to do is add a nav. And then within the nav we can just have a simple list of links. So we'll just add hashes for these. And the first one I think is about. And then there's a couple more as well. So the next one is portfolio. And then the last one, let's just check what that is. That's contact. So we're not actually going to be building any of these pages. We're just going to do the home page and the list page templates. So that's the header done. And then the footer obviously is very, very similar to that. If we just take a quick look at the footer so that we know what we're building. Yeah, we've got some kind of copyright information, and then a duplication of the nav in the footer as well. So let's just go back and add those briefly. So for the copyright information we can use a small, and we'll just copy that text out. And obviously we want to change that to the HTML entity, and then we can just copy our nav. So that's the header and the footer sorted. So let's just take a look at the elements in the main section here. So if we go back to the PSD quickly, we can see that the main section starts out here with this heading and the social icons. So the heading, obviously, that will just be a H1, and we'll copy the text out again. Great. Okay, and then for the social icons, we can just use a standard list. It's not really navigation. It will be a list of links though, so again we'll just hash those. The first one I believe is Facebook, and we'll just add the text in as well. Obviously the text, we'll hide the text later on, but we should start off with the actual text of the link. The next one is Vimeo. And the next one is Last.fm. And the next one is LinkedIn. And the last one is Dribble. Okay, so let's go back to the PSD again. So the next thing is this big kind of hero image. So if this were a real website, then that might be a big content slider with some lovely big images in. We won't worry about adding that. We'll just code that as just a single large image. Give it some alt text. And this is in the IMG folder, and we called it, what do we call it? Let's take a look. Hero, must be hero. Okay, great. And then following this, we have, what have we got next? So we've got this kind of introductory text area here. So this might be related to the hero image. It might be talking about that. It's not really clear. So if we were working in a web design studio, then we'd tap the designer on the shoulder maybe and just say, hey, is this text to go with the image, or is it just some introductory text? What is it? Explain it to me. We don't have the designer here, unfortunately, so we'll just code this up as a separate bit of text. So we'll start out with a heading. Actually, we'll start out with an article, and then inside the article we can have the heading for the article. So we'll copy this text out again. And what have we got then? We've got a paragraph of text, so we'll copy that as well. Ignore the font warnings. And then we've got this kind of list of links. So again, another list of links here. What does this say? So we're going to copy out this text. Obviously it's just kind of example text here. So we've got 4 links, and we'll just grab the text for each one. So this is obviously one of the most time-consuming parts of this process, is kind of copying out this text. Again, it's just really layout text, so we probably won't even end up using this, but we need something to kind of lay out the page, so we'll just go with what's in the PSD here. So now we've got our portfolio section, and what we'll do is use another section for this, so we can have a section inside a section, and this is the portfolio section. And this starts out with a heading again, so we'll just copy that straight in. It wants to be wants to be a H1 again, so this is the H1 for this section. Obviously in HTML5 we can have multiple H1s. We could have multiple H1s in HTML4 documents, but you know, the SEO guys tended to advise against it. But now that we're using HTML5, it's fine. And for the actual portfolio, we'll use a list. And so each list item has got an image, and each image is a thumbnail. So let's just lay this out a bit neater. And then we can have a H2 for the subheadings for each of these thumbnails. And we'll copy the text again. I mean, luckily the text is the same for each item, so we'll just need to copy it out one time. And there's a short paragraph of text as well. We'll just grab that. And then we can just duplicate this. So we've got 6 thumbnails. So we can just update the SRCs for each one. So nearly there now. Forgotten how to count. And the last one now. Great. So what have we got? After the portfolio grid then, we've got another one of these kind of text sections, and it's identical to the first one. So we'll grab this article here, and we will add that after the section, after the inner section. So that's the main bit of the body. We've done the header and the footer already. So that's pretty much it. So this is the base markup, the very minimum markup that we'll need. And we can just take a quick look at that in a browser. Obviously the styling at this stage is very, very light, but the text has already got some of the right colors in, the links are the right color. Okay, so yeah, I've put the paths for the images wrong, so let's just correct that slightly. The folder is actually called IMGS, not just IMG. So let's add the correct path in. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, there's no real styling yet other than that which we get automatically from Bootstrap. That's fine. We'll come back in and add some styling again later on. But the second page, the list page template, is even simpler to build the layout for. We can just pretty much copy over the page. So we'll resave this as list template. And then I think the only difference is, other than the kind of visual layout, the only markup difference is that each of the list items has just got more text in it. That's the only real difference between these two pages. So let's just hide the guides again, and we can just copy out this big block of text, and we can paste that straight into each of the list items. So we'll add it to the first one, and we can just copy that whole paragraph over, and we'll just replace all of the ones down here. So at this point the two pages are going to look very, very similar because there's no kind of layout, styling or anything yet. But this is the base markup for this page. So we wouldn't always be this fortunate to have two page templates that were so similar, but it helps keep things nice and simple for us in this course. So in this part we added the underlying markup required for the two page templates. We kept things as simple as possible using just clean semantic elements required for the design to be brought to life. As we've seen, Photoshop doesn't really have any decent native tools for outputting clean and semantic HTML5, but it's still necessary to use the application as a guide to which elements we'll need. In the next lesson, we'll look at starting to pull out some of the design and adding some custom CSS to our pages. Thanks for watching.